Hello, listener. You're welcome to another episode of Victoria Speaks. Today I'm going to do a review on a sermon I listened to a few days ago. So I was at the London Summerfest, Summerfest. It was hosted by the Covenant Nation Church, UK. And it was held in the O2 Intercontinental Hotel in Greenwich, and I was there. It was a wonderful time. Started at 9 and we finished at about 2:30, was it? Almost 3 o'clock. It was a great time, and the preacher was Pastor Poju Oyemade, and I don't know if you know him, but this is the first time I would listen to any of his sermons, listen to him preach. I know him from WAFBEC. I know he hosts WAFBEC, and Apostle Joshua Selma preaches in WAFBEC. He preaches there whenever he is always a guest. And then the WAFBEC this year in January, Apostle Grace Lubega was there as well. And the first time I would listen to Apostle also, and I absolutely loved him. So when I saw the advert for the London Summerfest, I saw it and I was like, okay, if he's coming here, I've never heard him preach, but I know he must be a remarkable man of God to be affiliated to all of these apostles and to honor them on his platform. So I went there, and I did not waste my time. I'm going to tell you that much. My time was not wasted. So we had 2 sessions. The first session was about faith. It was about faith. It was about prayer and stuff. But then the second session is the one I'm going to share today. So the second session was about open heavens. It was titled 10 Things That Will Make Heavens Open. 10 things that will make heavens open. And I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, I'm doing this to share my knowledge with someone else, someone there that may be blessed by this. And secondly, it's also for me to go back to this sermon sometime and then to refresh my memory of what I learned. It's in writing, but I would like to have an insight of what I learned. So the main text was in the book of Matthew 3 verse 16, and it says, "And Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting upon him." All right. So he spoke here about how the heavens opened onto Jesus. Yeah. And then open heavens is a thing that happens to believers. It can happen. And then number 1, how to make that happen. He said, number 1, you should forgive. Forgive. And then you're not just forgiving like, oh, I forgive this person. He went further to say, you should pray for your enemies. Pray for your enemies. He said you should pray. He was specific. He said, pray same blessings you desire upon your enemies. Like what you desire to happen to yourself, you pray for your enemies. And then he went into the book of Mark 11, 23 to 25. And it says, "For verily I say unto you, that whatsoever shall say unto these, whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he said shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he desire, whatsoever he said. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. And when ye stand praying, forgive, if ye have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. So he said to us that we should forgive. So if you're praying for your enemies, you're not just praying, oh Lord, help my enemies. No, you're praying like, okay, Lord, I desire my enemies to have that promotion, that house, to have that, to buy that car. I desire this person to get married. And not just get married, have an amazing husband. Like, you pray in pictures. Picture the person actually having what you're praying for. All right? Praying about. And then what you desire, you pray like you're praying for yourself. So he said you should let go of offenses to break through. If you want to break through, let go of offenses. That forgiveness, the act of forgiving and praying for your enemies, for those that have wronged you, it increases your capacity to receive more from God. And if I tell you, there were tons of questions about this because after this sermon, there was a question and answer series. People had questions about this praying for their enemies. And he went to the book of Luke also, Luke 6:26 to 38. You might hear the flip. I'm actually opening the Bible and then creating a context to this thing. Okay, so verse 26 to 28, he said, woe unto you when all men speak well of you, for so did their fathers the false prophets. But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you, bless them that curse you, pray for them which despitefully use you, and unto them that smite thee on the one cheek offer also the other, and him that taketh away thy cloak forbid not to take away thy coat also. Give to every man that ask of thee, and him that taketh away thy goods ask them not again. And as you would that men should do to you, do so unto them likewise. For if ye love them which love you, what thank have ye? For sinners also love those that love them. And if ye do good to them which do good to you, what thank have ye? For sinners also do even the same. And if ye lend to them of whom ye hope to receive, what thank have ye? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again. But love ye your enemies, and do good, and lend, open for nothing again, and your reward shall be great. And ye shall be children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful, unto the evil. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. Yeah, then he went ahead to say, judge not, and I give, and it shall be given unto you. It was given us from the scriptures. He said from the scriptures why it is important to forgive, and it is commanded. And then forgiving your enemies and loving your enemies is like a basic Christian thing to do. Yeah, because if you love those that love you, sinners do the same. So what's the difference? Like, what makes you so different? All right, where's the God factor in you? That's what he was basically saying. So we move to number 2, generosity. He said we should be generous. Generosity means being a good Samaritan. And in the book of Proverbs, he went to the book of Proverbs 21, verse 13. Proverbs 21:13 says, whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. So we are supposed to be kind and generous to people. He also went to the book of Isaiah 58, verse 2 to 13. You can read that. In the book of Isaiah 58 to verse 30, from verse 2 to 13, it was about how the children of Israel were asking about their fast. We fast, we do that, and then and God told them that the kind of fast He desires is that you should be kind to the poor, feed the hungry, and to be kind to your servants, not just you being wearing a long face and starving yourself for food. So he said that to be intentionally generous, you need to ask God what your assignment is. Who am I assigned to? Where is this person and how can I help them? Yeah, you can be assigned to a person, to a family, to a community, to a nation, in fact. So we should ask for about our assignment, to be generous to, and people around us should feel our generosity. Our resources should be of help to people around us. We should reach out to others. Whatever wealth we're accumulating should not just be for ourselves. It should be for ourselves, our family around, and then anyone that needs help. He said, heavens open that way when you're generous to people. Because when you give, it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over shall men give unto your bosom. Then number 3 said the use of the tongue. So he said the use of the tongue is, it can be used for evil, and it can be used for good. That tongue can be used. So with the tongue you can slander, backbite, and then say bad things to about other people, and then or say horrible things to yourself. You can complain with your tongue as well. So he said, if you said an incorrect thing, let's say you slandered somebody, you said something wrong about someone, call the person you spoke to, and then call them to correct it and be like, what I said about Victoria the other day was wrong. He said, when you do that, when you go through that embarrassment of calling the person to correct it, if you do that once, twice, 3 times, it's going to stick to you because you're not going to like the process. It's really humiliating and humbling to call people back and then apologize. So when you go through that, it's going to reinstate something in you that tells you when next time there is a window, an avenue for you to speak about someone, you think through it properly before saying it, So then he said, the inner ear is to hears you when you speak. And so you should not repeat negative words said to you. And don't speak negatively about others. He went to the book of Psalm 34, verse 9 to 15. And he spoke about this. He said, do not speak evil of anyone. And then he gave us a challenge. It said, desist from negative speaking for 40 days and see the changes. He said, just for 40 days, do not speak badly about anyone. And then see the changes that will happen. Yeah. So there are 10 things. I've done 3. This is 3. I've talked about 3, and then on the next episode, I'm going to talk about another 3. I think we're going to do it 3 till I finish it. I will tell you, I have a YouTube channel now, so the second episode might be on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to put one here, but another one on the YouTube channel. It was nice doing this. It was nice talking to you again. I will be back for the rest of the sermon review. Have a lovely day.